Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lizard Brains podcast. I'm your host, DJ Allison Drini. I'm joined by my co-host, Tom O'Gorman. Tom, who drove in a wet skid pad today for One Lap of America, day 2 coverage here. How you doing?
I'm soaked.
You're soaked or stoked?
No, I'm kidding. Hello from Franklin, Kentucky, in my new hotel room for the night, my new home away from home.
Your hotel room has a couch.
It has a couch. You want to come sleep over?
No. Nope. Where would I stay?
Midnight.
You can hardly fit a helmet in the back of the GT3 RS. Where would I go? I guess
I know you have to drive yourself home.
Yeah, I would
you
have
could be
to
our
drive
media
myself.
team. Oh, DJ Media.
Oh, I could be the media team. That kind of sounds fun. That sounds like a terrible waste of vacation days, though. But
where did we last leave everybody off? I guess yesterday in South Bend, huh?
We were just talking about like kind of how the competition worked and then what was coming up next. The thing about the wet skid pad, Tom, is it always feels like it's going to be really intense. Like it's just like you're like strapped in the car, you got like the helmet on, you're like you do the launch control like to drive up to the person who like sends you out there, and then you get out there and then you just drive around in circles and you're just like, and that was it. That's my feeling after every time I do it.
How many times have you did it twice?
Twice.
Now?
I've done it twice. Yeah.
This was my fifth time doing the wet skid pad, and honestly I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like there's hardly any energy. This is an event that builds really slow, in my opinion. I think it crescendos towards the end, but it doesn't start off with a bang. It's like just kind of like the event starts with a wet skid pad doing the brrr around like you mentioned, but then the results start to roll in, and that's when it gets intense. That's what I think. Because this is honestly the make or break for the week, kind of. Like you can completely throw it ball up and completely trash your week at the wet skid pad by accident. And this was the first time doing it on 200 treadwear tires for me. I've done it on Continental ECS 02s, and I've done it on Michelin PS4S before. And this year I was like, I really, really, really don't want to be the team that like boggles up the wet skid pad and ends up behind the rest of the week. And luckily, although I was the second car out and the skid pad felt absolutely abysmal and I barely made it around without hydroplaning basically the entire way, I was 19th. Salila and I are 19th out of 70 some cars.
Which, like, looking at the results, most of the cars in front of you weren't on a 200 treadwear tire, from what I can tell.
So the reason that this is completely fine and acceptable, although it is my worst wet skid pad performance, is like I mentioned, you're literally just around in a circle. So it doesn't matter what your car is, really. It more matters to an extent what kind of car you have. Maybe a little bit of aero helps. Maybe a little bit of like tire width stuff helps.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it's just the tire choice. And it's the only events where like the slowest cars of the event will finish towards the top potentially. So the car that was, just to read off some of the numbers, these are the cars were given these numbers based on the assumption of how they might perform. The car that won was number 30, then 16, then 11, 28, 25, 27, 60, 50, 75, 74. That's the top 10. So it's like, these are cars that will likely not be at the top on a proper road course against a GT3 RS, but on a little skid pad.
I don't know. You better watch out for this Lexus. Just saying.
Maybe.
Yeah, they came out swinging. They came out swinging, Tom. Look, this is the point.
How about a Volvo V70R?
No, they're doomed. So, I don't even know who they are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're in a Volvo. It's like they measure it with time, but then they calculate like what the G's were for the skid pad. And they won by a pretty big margin. Compared to everyone else. Look how far back you have to go to get the 16 thousandths of a G.
Oh, my phone respawned to it reloaded the homepage. This website.
It's a pretty big margin. It like trickles down from there. So just saying.
I don't know what.
Maybe there's some secret sauce going on with this Lexus. I'm just saying. Maybe don't count them out, Tom O'Gorman. Because this is how one lap works. You have no idea what you're gonna get.
Right. I know they've done the one lap a bunch of times, but I don't remember that car or anything. But anyway, so that all to say, you can be The bigger thing with the wet skid pad, here's where I'm going. The bigger thing with the wet skid pad is to be as close to or just better than the cars that, if you're going for overall win, are also in contention for or in potential for an overall win. The car that I would say probably, I feel kind of bad. This is all just my impression. I don't mean this by anybody, but I think the fastest car of the cars that could win was probably Andy Smedegaard. They were 17th. No, 18th. No.
17th.
Where
They
are
were
they?
17th.
17th. Yes, and I got 19. Oh, I tied for 19th. That's why it was confusing. They were also on Bridgestone. So we think Andy and I were the top 2 Bridgestone cars.
Yeah.
But
do you know
the skid pad was just slow this year because it was so cold.
Do you have
We
any
were
idea what McKelvey was on? Because he got 18th and he's in an M4. I think it has like aero and stuff on it too. And obviously
does, you're
McKelvey's
right.
pretty good. So
I wish this said what tires they're on. To be honest, I don't know.
I kind of wish this said what tires they were on.
I'm gonna stop trying to fuck with my phone.
Brock, I know you got these long transits and you're totally listening to the podcast. We should have like more stats on the teams. Like it makes it easier for the bums at home like me to be able to follow along and really like understand the like underlying storyline that's happening here.
Yeah. It was a classic 1-lap morning in that the live results, there weren't any, and the stream wasn't really like effective in knowing where you finished.
Yeah.
And all of the top cars were doing so badly that we genuinely had no idea where we would end up.
Yeah.
And we all left without really knowing where we were. So we finally found out that we got 16th, but the first screenshot someone sent was like whoever was, here's what happened. This was kind of like drama for the week so far. Chris Mayfield did the wet skid pad in his Evora, and there's some sort of typo with his results, and he's scored in like 57th right now. And the reason it was like, what happened is because he hit a bunch of cones doing the skid pad, like we always joke about, but never actually happened.
So he actually did the thing.
So we're like, is he penalized? What happened? Oh my gosh.
So what happened? Do you know what happened?
Llamas. But apparently it's just a typo, but they need the tire rack timing people to come back to the office to get it corrected in the system.
So you won't
I
even
don't understand
know
how this works.
So you won't even know till like Monday.
Monday is when he will get updated into, and we think he's going to slot in like basically right where Andy and I are, where the ASM car and
gotcha.
And
So I still don't understand, because I tried to clarify what the penalties are for hitting cones. So I understand the risk versus reward, and I always get like a vague like, man, don't hit the cones. And I'm like, what is the penalty if I hit them? And I don't want to find out. So like, did Chris find out for us? Is he going to share what the penalty is? Is there a penalty? Like, these are things I need to know.
There is no penalty. He was already told there's not a penalty. It's just a typo.
Okay.
So all that was happening, and none of us know where we're at. And then the first screenshot pops up with Chris Mayfield in 57th position. And I know that I did basically the same as him, if not maybe like I'm within a tenth of I'm within a
hundredth
of a G on some end of it, and I'm like, am I last place? Did I get last?
Oh no,
was I that bad? and then it refreshes within 5 minutes, and it's like, okay, no, we're 19th. We're
okay.
My heart freaking dropped, dude. I was like,
yeah, dude, look how close. Okay, so look how close, like 16th to you.
I don't have it up anymore. My phone's driving me nuts.
So 16th was .778 Gs, and then 19th, which was where you ended up, was, and you tied for 19th, was .772. So only 6 thousandths of a G difference in like 4 places, basically. Yeah.
Which is nothing. I mean, I have no idea what that translates to time, or to it, like, is that literally like one little tread block touches the crown a little differently and then you grip versus not, or is that like 4/10, you know?
Oh, it's definitely not 4/10, but like I am curious what it is via time. I feel like my brain works better knowing what times people got rather than like the G that they pulled. I'm sure we could do math and understand like the radius of the thing, and then like figure out like, I'm sure we could do that. Can somebody listening to this just freaking reverse engineer the thing and tell us what the times are? We got
probably all published somewhere that we could easily find, but
maybe that.
Someone, especially if you're driving, take your hands off the wheel and help us look this up.
Yeah, exactly.
So the skid pad wrapped up. I guess Salil and I were kind of in space a little bit. We just sort of packed up and left. So we were the first car out by like a long way, and then we didn't see a single other car on the road. You know how when you leave Tyrac, it's usually like there's kind of like a pack of
The
one
little
lap cars that
convoy.
sort of start.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. We were literally the only people we saw on the road with a one lap car all the way to our hotel or to dinner right before the hotel. And we were halfway through the drive. I'm like, are we getting pranked? Did we go to the right track? Where is everybody else? But we just left so fast by accident. We weren't really paying
Is
attention.
somebody doing the road rally app again, where like you can kind of keep tabs on where everyone else is? I remember in 2024, I forget who did it, but they had an app where like we could like like a couple dozen people signed up for it, so we could see like, oh look, so and so is now just leaving the event, and we'd be like 100 miles away or whatever.
If that's up, I don't know about it. I'll look up. I'll look into that and let you know.
Okay. Because that added like to the enjoyment. And then you would see somebody doing like 130 and you're like, whoa,
Oh,
what are they
it was
doing?
tracking GPS.
Yeah, it would track speed and yep.
Wow. I'm surprised they published that.
No, it wasn't an official one lap thing. It was just somebody in one lap had it going and you could like join it.
Got it.
I don't remember who it was that like made the thing. So like they could be doing it again, or maybe they're not even doing one lap. So I'm not sure.
Right. No, I'll try to find out. Honestly, I haven't looked up into the tools too much. We know there's supposed to be live timing, but there's not. Of the skid pad is different timing because it's tire racks than
Yeah.
every other event. So we'll know probably in real time for the rest of the week is the theory.
Yeah. Okay.
But today was classic one lap, just like driving down the highway, hoping you did okay.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. That's fun. Some drama for some of the what we were thinking were front runners. So the number 5 Goodyear down in 34th, but we know that the Goodyears aren't super great at the wet skid pad. And then where did the Tesla end up? Because I saw that they didn't do super 33. So they got, so let's say you're neck and neck with the Tesla. This is just an example of how one lap works. So you guys got scored 260 points. The Tesla, which is always competitive, 33. No, not 33. That's where Brian Peters and John Hogan ended up.
27 maybe then.
26. Okay, it's not that bad. They're 35 points behind you. So that means that they're going to have to place at least one spot ahead 7 times.
Correct.
So they would have to beat you in 7 events. If they got first every time and you got second, that means it would take 7 timing or like scoring instances, which is twice
segments,
a day. Yeah, or segments. That's better way to put it, to catch up. So that's only 7 places away. Probably the biggest headline of like, oh my God, what the heck happened, was the number 6 car, which is Dave Marcus and Mike King in the ZR1. They got 64th, which only scores 35 points. So you could do the math. At this moment in time, Tom has 260 points, and the number 5 team or number 6 team has 35 points. So I got a little bit of the inside scoop. Not 100% sure if I'm supposed to share it, but I'm going to anyways. I'll hear if I wasn't supposed to. But remember yesterday we were talking about how we were assuming that they were just messing around like with Pirelli stickers on the car, because we were we were basically sure that they were running those like Porsche spec Michelin. What are they? PS5 something? PS5S?
PSS5. Yep.
What is it?
PSS5.
PSS5. Okay. Well, they're not running
Sport,
that.
Pilot Sport.
Pilot Super Sport 5s?
I think it's just Pilot Sport S5.
What the heck?
Yeah, terrible.
Michelin, I don't think any of you are listening to this podcast, but like, what are we doing? You guys are worse than Intel when it comes to naming things.
I don't think people are meant to buy Michelins, though. I think you're supposed to send your car somewhere and someone else puts Michelins on your car and you never know what you buy.
Maybe. Maybe that's most of the tire industry. Like we're the weirdos,
Probably.
like
Yeah,
caring
for
what
sure.
tires go on your car. So they have some Pirellis actually on the car, and they tested really good in the wet and really good in the dry from some like UK tire testing site. The problem is they ended up with like a Porsche spec, which is a different compound, and apparently the car is just scary in the wet. So if anybody knows an anti-rain dance just for the safety of Dave Marcus and Mike King, maybe employ the dance now because uh, yeah, I could look their G. Hold on, let me bring it back up. The average G that they had was 0.646, which is so low. That is so low.
I think I could achieve that in this office chair, like if I just scooted myself across the room.
Dude, like what is up with that tire? Like was that tire just not meant to like touch water? Like
Well,
holy moly. I know it was
it
cold.
yeah, like I said, it was the I think the ground temp is just particularly cold, and then they didn't turn the water on until much later this year, I feel.
Oh,
We
okay.
showed up and the water wasn't on,
Oh, that's interesting.
and we were maybe the 5th or 6th car into the parking lot. So then what I did, whatever it was just yeah, it was just particularly cooler this year, I think, than most. Because in years past, the wet skid pad winner has sometimes flirted with one sustained G or one average G.
Yeah.
And this year the winner was 0.886. And again, I have no idea what this means. These numbers don't mean anything really, but um, that basically means that they were just way off. Like the whole field was way off. Um, so what was I going to say? Oh, so my tire warm up. You want to hear how I did it?
Yeah,
Did you
how
see
did you
how I
do
did
it?
it?
I saw a clip of you just using uh,
Yeah,
like one of those clover things on a do you just did
exactly.
you
I
just
didn't break
drive
any
around the
laws this
clover?
year, raise any eyebrows or
Good.
anything. So I lit on
That's
Google
clever.
Maps and I did a little zoom out, zoom out. What'd you say?
I said that's clever. A
I
clover?
know. So
Yeah.
I set the cruise to like 70 and I just did laps around a clover leaf for 30 minutes but unfortunately, so I did it. We know that we have to be there by 8. That's when they tell us to be there, but we know it doesn't start at 8 because it's one lap. You don't know when it starts. They just come by and tell you when it's time to start.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually start until like almost 8:30.
And what happens
And
if you're
I
not
did,
there?
I think you get 0. You get skipped.
No shit. Really? Okay. Wow. Oh, but it's always a little vague of what would happen.
Correct. I know there's a if you run out of order rule, but I forget if it's a 0, like a DSQ, or if it's
Well, there was like a rain
a big
rule
penalty.
because somebody like it was drying conditions and they like didn't go when they were supposed to, and then
Correct.
yeah, so I think they add like a minute or something. But how do you add a
That's what it
minute
is.
to
You're
a
right.
skid
They
pad?
add a
Yeah.
minute per lap to your session.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I got sidetracked mid
Oh, you were using the clover
Totally.
field and then you came back and you were supposed to be there at 8.
Yeah, so I pulled back in at like 7:52 or something, basically knowing like I can't cut it any closer than this. It's just is what it is. So I got the tires decent, especially the rears. The front was kind of rough, but then we sat there for 40 minutes, and the RS has temperature gauges as well as tire pressure indicators on the dash.
Yeah.
So I see that the front tires are like 55 degrees. And I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is, I guess. Tire warmers would be great or whatever. And Andy and Alex are right next to us with tire warmers. Basically, half the freaking parking lot has tire warmers at this point because
Come
of
on.
them.
Are you guys trying or what? At least bring the tire warmers to the skid pad.
Well, we don't have any, but also sucks to suck because they were only one car better than us. So what were all those tire warmers for? But the interesting part was not watching, but noticing the tire temperature go down after the run from before. So I started and I think I got it to like 59 before I actually entered the water.
Yeah.
By being really aggressive between the entry point and the actual start.
Yep.
And then by the time I was done, 46.
Okay, so you literally would just lose temp like immediately anyways.
Correct. So I think all of us were just like, and every single person, especially on the Bridgestones, would come back like head shaking or just like, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
most of the at least half the top 10 is in that situation. So
Yep.
I'm walking to go get my gear and stuff to put it in the car and park for the rest of the week and leave. And I walked by Chris Mayfield and like, please tell me that you thought that was horrible and you don't feel good about it at all. And he was just like, it was rough.
Yeah. Oh man, if I'm ever in Chris's position and somebody comes up and says that to me, I might just go, "Oh my god, are you kidding? That was the best skid pad ever!" and just let them like sit with it for the whole drive to Nashville.
Go for a big high five, give him a fucking hug.
Oh, wasn't that
Yeah.
great?
Like the guy celebrating third in the meme.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I will say, so I did the 148 laps on Nelson's. I took my, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but I took my my newly acquired Miata to Nelson Ledges for like an open track day, and it was just me and one other person there because it was raining and nobody showed up. So I just burned 2 tanks of gas, and I could get 74 laps out of a tank of gas at Nelson Ledges in the rain in the Miata before the gauge still indicated that there was fuel in it, but it said 0 miles till empty. So that just came in when it said 0 miles.
Sure.
So, but every time I came in, whether it was for like lunch or because
More gas.
well, there was like a bottom thing on my car that was like falling off, so they flagged me, and I came in and then like shoved the thing back where it should be, and then jumped back in the car and went. But every single time I got out of the car, I would feel the tires. I'm like, am I getting any freaking temperature into these tires? No, they were just cold, and it wasn't like it was cold rainy day. It was just wet, and so it just zaps all the temperature. Like that's why we spray tires in autocross. But just no temperature, nothing at all. Like the tire never activated, nothing. It was just like you think it's getting better, it's not. You're just getting more comfortable. Like the tire never got temperature into it, and it was warm and wet. So,
wow. What tires were those?
the RSs.
Okay. Yeah, I was able to get some tire temp in the car, in those tires, excuse me, when I did wet sessions at Autobahn in my car, but it was only damp track, and I could feel enough G-force, like it was definitely working the tire.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you just didn't have as much grip.
No, I was kind of just sliding around for all 74 laps. Like it was pretty wet.
Yeah. Huh. That does sound fun. No, we didn't hear about that because we started daily episodes the day after that.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, that was fun, and I had a great time, and I can't wait to compete in the wet at some point again because I got more than 3 hours of wet practice while everyone else just stayed home. Like, guys, everyone that was thinking about going to Nelson Ledges and then didn't, you guys missed out because it was great. I got about a couple decades worth of one lap of America's clean laps.
Have you ever looked, actually, do you know what the cumulative time at the end of one lap tends to be? Have you ever remembered to look, or do you recall?
Oh, I remember it being more track time than I expected.
The total cumulative competition time tends to be somewhere in the low 40 minutes.
Yeah, that was more than I expected.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but we're not scored on that. We're just scored on position.
Yeah, over 3 hours. Hold on. Sorry, I know I'm derailing the one lap stuff. The only time I was held up, a ZR1, like a C8 ZR1, came during lunch to run some laps, and I got held up by the ZR1.
You know why?
Why?
It's probably on Pirelli's.
No, he was on some really crap tires, but he didn't see me. I followed him around for 2 laps. I was literally like popping every single mirror and everything possible, and I'm like, how does he not? He's got to know I'm back here. Like, is this like some weird ego thing? He finally gets a blue flag on like the start finish straight, and I couldn't see his head, but I almost like saw like with the behavior of the car, like a whoa, what is that for me? Because he like instantly jammed on the brakes, and like the car was like hunting around, like you could tell like he wasn't paying attention to where he was going. He was like trying to find me in the mirror.
Yeah.
And then afterwards he goes, I have to be honest, I've never seen one of those flags for me.
Oh my God. The first day for everything, friend.
And I was like, yeah, it sucks that 150 horsepower Miata showed you that flag.
Yeah. I like that you had to. So those corner workers, when they saw it raining, I know how work goes. They were all like, if no one shows up, we all get to get out early. And
I
then they had to
know.
sit there and watch you.
Just
At least they
watch
got to watch
me.
you doing a good job, I'm assuming, but they
Yeah.
got to watch you for 3 hours go by every minute and 30 seconds or
We
so.
we all hung out and ate pizza during lunch, like me and all the corner workers, because like we were the only people there.
Oh, cool.
And so we were like talking about it and stuff, and it seemed like they were happy that there was a car like kind of like being somewhat entertaining on course is my
Sure.
impression of it. So, but oh, and there was a podcast listener. He was the other car there. His name was Steve. So hi, Steve.
Oh, hey, Steve.
Yeah, he was there. It was just me and him, and I'm like, and I asked him, Steve, have you listened to the wet episode? And he's like, you have a wet episode? I'm like, yeah, it's the actual art of driving in the rain. He's like, no, I haven't. And I'm like, oh my God, Steve, you got to listen to it on your way home. So Steve, you got to give us an update. He's also in the Discord. Steve, you got to give us an update. Like, did you listen to the driving in the wet episode? And like, were there any light bulbs when you were listening to it? Because Steve was doing a pretty good job, like when he was out there. So I'm wondering if we gave him any extra tidbits. Everyone at One Lap, we have a actual art of racing in the rain episode, and it gets good reviews. So go listen to that for an advantage.
And the later part of this week is trending wetter on the forecast, which it's still plain states, so I don't trust it fully. But
Yeah.
High Plains is like 80% chance of rain now, out in Denver, near Denver. Hastings in Nebraska is like 60% chance right now, and Road America's chance is going up, and it's also going to be freezing ass cold at Road America.
Ooh,
So I'm trying to like,
yeah.
I'm already like plotting my strategy. What do I do to get tire temp if it's wet? Because I know the tire is theoretically supposed to be good in the wet, but my experience this morning was like, yikes, that's not going to be fun or fast on a racetrack. It's not, my experience today was not like, oh, this is going to be dangerous.
Yeah. But it's hard because the compound never activates. It doesn't get up to temperature.
Right.
Yeah.
The irony if I do my first one lap in 200 treadwears and it's wet enough to have gone with the conservative option again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I mean, that's the part of One Lap that makes it entertaining. What's tomorrow, Tom? Qualifying, right?
Hang on, I got to tell you about this ad on my TV real quick. It's why is there an ad for it says Secret Concierge 2, the internship, and it's Kimi Antonelli in a bathtub.
You're gonna have to investigate that
Formula
and
One
let us
driver. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow with that. Tomorrow is Nashville Super Speedway. It's our first like standard straight out of the box time attack segment, which means we get a warm up lap from the pit lane. We come to a stop at the start finish line. We do a launch and we do 3 cumulative laps scored in total. So the fastest car wins. It's also qualifying day. So the order from tomorrow morning determines the order that we run in the rest of the week. So tomorrow we run in numerical order, 1 to 70, whatever. But then the rest of the week, say car 67 is like 10th fastest. That car gets moved to the qualifying spot that it would have earned.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the first show. Like I'll probably have a bunch of people to update people on tomorrow instead of just rattling off the top 10 and ignoring some other people. Because sometimes people come out of the blue from like the teens, the 20s, the 30s with like a really good, well-driven, fast car, and they just didn't know who it was, so they gave him like a lower number.
Yeah. So that would be
another
fun.
car that might be kind of interesting, actually, that reminds me, if you look at the results, if you still have them up, number 5, 5th position, excuse me, is a Bimmer World BMW M2 that looks like really proper, and it's on Continentals. So I'm assuming it's on ECS, which would mean that's why it did so well in the skid pad, but they're going to be way up towards the top if that car is still fast in the dry on the road courses too. Because they're going to start with, what is that, like a 60-point buffer to me?
Yeah.
From 5th to 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're number 25. Okay. Do you know Phil Wers?
So there's cars like that to keep an eye out on.
Do you know Phil Wers is the team is Phil Wers and Kerry Wers. Do you know them?
I have not met them yet. No.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to stay tuned. I don't think I've ever met them either. So cool. There's actually a lot of new names here in One Lap that I don't 100% recognize.
Yeah, in the driver's meeting, they asked how many new people, and it was more than I'd seen in the past.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
a good quarter of the field.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Neat.
Maybe a little less, maybe a fifth. Yeah, it's
All
pretty
right.
good.
All right, Tom. Well, I think that's you got any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess I could kind of set the stage maybe for it, but we've talked a lot about like the competitive energy around one lap.
Yeah.
And I still feel the same as I've felt in the past where I don't feel competitive towards other people at this event. I feel like we're all just competing against the event and the times, and whoever does the best at the end is the winner, but we're not competing in a way that we affect each other or that there's not anything like that between each other. And I feel that way I tend to feel that way about autocross too for the most part, but specifically one lap because it takes so long to play out. It's like
Yeah.
we're not racing each other kind of. But when those results came out, it was like, oh, I still want to be at the front. Like I want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're like doing a good job and all that.
Yeah,
So
the lizard was peaked. You're like, oh,
yes.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
this is my 5th year in a row. I've never been outside the top 20 after the wet skid pad,
Well,
including today.
I guess you're keeping that keeping that streak alive. I've never had a good wed skip pad, but I've always been on Bridgestones.
Yeah. Adam Kovac just said at their autocross, the new Bridgestone was slower than the old Yokohama as well. See, this is where are these tire testers getting off on then? Like, what are they talking about when they say it tested better? We need to.
I feel like we need to test tires, Tom.
Yeah. But I think there's just so many variables. Like the tire is the end all be all, but you could put the same tire on 2 different cars and get
but
two
also
different
like
results.
different pavement is going to yield different results for like different tires.
Exactly. That's what sorry to air all of his stuff, I guess, but that's what David Marcus said. But they got spooked about running that Michelin because it was like 5 seconds a lap slower at Eagles Canyon. And they started scrambling, like trying to figure out how to get a faster tire for the car. And that's how they ended up with this Pirelli. But again, like you trusted some tire tests for something that's never been on the car, and now you got bit. So
yeah, but
it's really tough.
If they're thinking 5 seconds a lap, like that's a pretty large like that's game ender.
Is it?
5 seconds is a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah, but then you're still probably in the top 10. You're not going to be in 60th.
Yeah, true.
This is a tough game.
I'm also curious how those Michelin PSS 5s would have done on the wet skid pad because nobody was running them.
Nope.
Yep. I guess maybe we'll find out next year.
It was either going to be us, Marcus, in the ZR1, Marcus King, or the Michelin car. But they, like I said yesterday, they made them run the production tire. So yeah, that's the update. We'll call in. Tomorrow's gonna be a little tough, DJ. We have a 10-hour transit plus the whole day. So I don't know what it looks like for you tomorrow.
Ooh, I'm going to an autocross event that's 4 hours away. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. I'm driving out there and then I'll come back. So I'm gonna get back. So
you guys will
late.
hear from us while I'm in the middle of the highway and DJ is fresh off an autocross, or even later when I'm in my hotel and DJ is cooked from his autocross.
It might be the cooking might have to happen, and then like you might have to keep Salil awake, which is sorry, Salil.
Or worst case scenario, we'll do it trackside from Hallett the next day.
Okay, yeah, like in the morning or something, or
yeah, it'll be like episode the 36-hour daily episode instead of every 24-hour.
Yeah, we're just doing our best here, so hopefully we can find it. Do you know? I have any idea of what time you'll end up? Like, because I'll come down to the computer at like 11 p.m. and like record an episode with you if you want.
Yeah, we're looking at probably 11 at the earliest, maybe a little after midnight, depending on what time we get out.
Okay, we can also record while you're in the car too. Like it might not be ideal, but we can.
Right.
So we can at least try it. Maybe fire up the laptop and the like during your transit and just kind of see what it's like, and be like, and then like listen to the recording back and go like, oh no, that's terrible, like way too much background noise, but then also we can just have Discord like filter out like a lot of because I'm recording from here. I think we can figure it out. I think it would be fine if you recorded it in the car.
Sure.
So, all right, we'll wrap up the episode. Tom, you want to take us out?
Sure. Oh goodness, I didn't think about this. Hey, love your hair, hope you win.